In the morning of August 9, 2024, in Cascavel, southern Brazil airport, local airline Vopas's plane, an ATR-72 twin-engine turboprop, was headed east to Guarulhos Airport, just outside Sao Paulo, with 58 passengers and 4 crew members. The flight took off from Brazil Airport at 11:46 a.m., and a weather advisory had warned pilots about severe icing between 12,000 and 21,000 feet, and maintaining its altitude below 15,000 feet. But the captain of the flight, Humberto de Campos Alencar e Silva, maintained its altitude of 17,000 feet. When it was flying over Vinhedo, a small city northwest of Sao Paulo, the flight lost radar contact around 13:22 local time. Near its destination, the plane's transponder signaled that it was descending quickly from its cruising altitude of 17,000 feet, according to Flight Radar 24, a provider of flight data. For about a minute, the transponder reported losing altitude at a rate of between 8,000 feet and 24,000 feet per minute, the company said. But neither of the pilots sent any emergency signal. Suddenly, the aircraft spinning flat and plunging straight down. Videos filmed by people on the ground in Vinhedo showed the aircraft slowly spinning horizontally as it fell from the sky, the loud rumbling of a plane's engine. After the plane disappeared from view near a gated community, a giant plume of black smoke was seen rising from the spot. One video showed a house on fire and a yard full of debris, including a shredded fuselage, twisted metal, and part of the cockpit, and these clips quickly spread on social media. Even one Brazilian news channel even interrupted their Olympics coverage to report live from the crash site, showing fire and smoke rising from the wreckage. Shortly after, firefighters reported that the plane had crashed in Vinhedo, a town about 76 kilometers northwest of Sao Paulo. The plane that was involved in the crash, registered as PSVPB, was a 14-year-old ATR-72-500. It had 2 engines, known as turboprops, made by Pratt & Whitney Canada. Vopas, the airline, got this plane in September 2022 from an Indonesian company called Pelita Air Service. The captain of the flight was Humberto de Campos Alencar e Silva, who was 61 years old. The first officer, Danilo Santos Romano, was 35. Along with them, the flight attendants were Debra Sopa Avila, 28, and Rubia Silva de Lima, 41. One fact about this flight is that all 61 passengers and crew members were Brazilian. Ultimately, all 61 people on board, where there were 57 passengers and 4 crew members, lost their lives.
Firefighters Corps confirmed that the plane crashed in the city of Vinhedo, and there were no survivors.
Interestingly, at least 10 people missed the flight because they had been waiting at the wrong gate. Due to the fire, many bodies were badly burned, making it difficult to identify the victims. One witness reported seeing 3 bodies ejected from the plane and landing in a backyard. President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva was at an event in the southern part of the country when he got the news about the crash. He immediately asked everyone at the event to observe a moment of silence for those on board. Later that evening, he declared 3 days of national mourning in response to the tragedy.